Eitan, in the last 3 or 4 months, ChatGPT, AI has stormed into our world. In my opinion, is changing everything. I find myself not going to Google anymore. Instead of searching Google for information and going to websites to gather information and make sense of it, I'm talking to an artificial intelligence which is analyzing and presenting me with information in a way that is revolutionary. It's going to affect advertising in a way that we can't even understand. That's part of the things I want to talk to you about today. It's going to change the understanding of SEO. It's going to change our world. It is changing our world. Our world has changed. You're an SEO expert. What is SEO?
Let's first define what's a search engine.
Okay, sure. A search engine, it is a website that allows you to enter a keyword. A keyword is a phrase, a word or phrase, and will return results of other websites that are relevant to that phrase.
A search engine is like an index that searches in its library. Okay? Same as you go to your library and you will say, I want a book, fiction by this author, and you go to that author in that section and you take the book. So a search engine is the same as a librarian, right?
Yeah.
In a way, you come and you ask a question and the search engine will look at all its index and give you what they think is the best book for you or what is the best website. And it's not even a website, it's a web page. You don't need websites. A search engine doesn't show you websites. It shows you a page. Could be a website with 1,000 pages, but you only need one page. And sometimes in that one page, you only need one phrase that is relevant to your question. I would say search engine optimization is the art of matching keyword intent to content on your site. Because when you actually start making a website, before you make the website, if you want to be successful in SEO, you have to research what people are looking for. You're not going to make a website about the African green frog that nobody has ever heard or searched for, because nobody's going to come. If you're going to have a commercial view or informational view, you first need to do what's called keyword research to understand what people are searching for. Now, the beautiful thing about SEO is that once you do keyword research, you can actually see who Google thinks is really good because you're going to see the top results. You're going to see the first 100 results. So you already have an understanding that if a person searches for Gibson guitar, you can already see which websites are actually matching that keyword intent. That gives you a good indication of what's a good website, what's a good content, what is a good backlink. So I would say SEO is the art of optimizing your website to match user keyword intent or keyword user intent.
I think that that's partially what it's about. Because when we're talking about search engine optimization, we're optimizing, yes, we're optimizing for keyword intent, but it's not about only keyword intent. If I had a website selling guitars in 2023 and I optimized the content for that keyword, I wouldn't necessarily rank number one, would I? There are other rules involved. For example, how many other sites point to your sites? What's the quality of those sites? So if I would define it a bit more accurately, it's the understanding the rules that make the search engine think you're relevant and optimizing it to those rules, because those rules aren't only about the keyword.
A search engine at the end of the day is a mathematical machine, is algorithms, okay? These algorithms are programmed to look at certain things, right? The biggest thing about search engine optimization is relevancy, okay? You need a relevant answer. So relevancy is the biggest thing.
In order to present your product in front of a certain demographic, The real way to understand what demographic it is to connect to the questions people ask. And that's the whole point here. If somebody is asking a specific question, that means he's looking for something. And if he's looking for something, you may have the thing that he needs right now. And as a business, that is the most valuable information. If I were walking down the street shouting, "Where is toothpaste? I want some toothpaste. I'm looking for some toothpaste." If you were selling toothpaste, that would be the person that you would want to come up and say, "Hey, look, I've got the best toothpaste in the world." But if you were selling shampoo, you wouldn't go to that person. Now, the question is, how do you make yourself as a toothpaste producer available to people who are asking toothpaste? And the answer is that there are gatekeepers. Gatekeepers which are protecting these toothpaste seekers that are shouting, "I want some toothpaste, I want some toothpaste." And that is called a search engine. If you could, as a marketeer, decide, "Oh, I want to put it in front of people who are asking for toothpaste," that would be easy. But all the people would open toothpaste companies. But there only could be one at the top of the list when he's asking for, "I want some toothpaste." Only one. So this gatekeeper, called a search engine, decides who is most important to put in front of this man. Now, your job as a marketeer doing SEO, search engine optimization, is synthesizing your content in order to convince the gatekeeper, the search engine, to put your content as high as possible in front of that person.
Here's a question about what you said.
Okay.
Do I need to convince that gatekeeper or Google or that search engine that I should be in front of that person by creating the best website, the best content, the best links? Or should I just be better than the site that is ranking number one today?
The question is, who defines what's better? Am I a better person than you? Are you a better person than me? The answer is, the gatekeeper decides. And as we know, the gatekeeper has rules. Do we know what his rules are? No. He's a gatekeeper and he doesn't tell us his rules. We reverse engineer the understanding of his rules. And therefore, as search engine experts, what makes one search engine expert better than the other? He has more experience within ranking to recommend to you how to tweak your website to rank higher. He has better tools to make you understand what makes you better than that other person. But tomorrow, the search engine may change the rules. And if the search engine changes the rules, everybody shuffles the deck. So it's all about search engine optimization, in my book, is about the art of synthesizing your content in order to convince the gatekeeper, the search engine, to make you seem the most relevant to the keyword searches that you want.
Yeah, in a way.
How do I get past the gatekeeper?
Yeah, it's a nice one. It's a nice one.
Let me take it one step further for a moment. Is it possible that now, with AI, there's less search on search engines? Because I'm finding myself not looking at Google. Maybe it's gone down by at least 80%. Let's say I wanted to know about multi-touch attribution. I'd put multi-touch attribution in the search engine and I'd get the first 4 websites. They're all static. They're all the same. They're all articles that have been written in the last 4 years. I know, I've read them. In order to get more information, I need to start being creative in the way I'm searching. Frankly, it's boring. If I go now onto ChatGPT and put on what is multi-touch attribution, It will slice and dice the information. I can continue having a conversation with this AI and dig deeper and deeper and deeper. And the information is more current, is more relevant. And I find this with every subject I'm looking into. It's helping me, even writing an email response to somebody. Do you know what? I even tried writing a little poem for my son's birthday. Anything that I want, my head's now been reprogrammed. Not because I've reprogrammed it. This is reality. The reality is that in order to get valuable information, which is beyond searching for a page in a book or a website, getting true insight, intelligence, instead of going to Google, I'm now going to ChatGPT or something else. And that is a change in the world.
I love it, first of all. Let's go back to the library example. You know, when you go into the library, you can ask the librarian, hey, tell me, what's the 5 most interesting books here about, about e-commerce, about philosophy? And that librarian, you look at him and say, oh, she's been working here 25 years. She's been reading a lot.
She's the gatekeeper.
She's the gatekeeper. But she knows, she has knowledge. It's much better if I do this instead of I'm going to start moving book by book by book and start to read the cover. When you search in Google, it's like taking a book, reading the cover, a book, reading the cover. You go into the website. No, that's not what I need. You go back. You waste a lot of time and you don't have that experience, that knowledge. You go to ChatGPT, you get that flavor of, here's the librarian. He's much smarter.
I see it in a different way, the analogy. I see Google as the librarian. The librarian has an understanding of what books are the most relevant to you. You asked a question about the Romans. I know the best 5 books about the Roman Empire. Why do I know it? Because other people have been searching for it. I've read some of them. I know all kinds of things. That is, in my eyes, Google. It has a certain personal method of bringing you the most relevant books. And then you go to the books. Those books will be the same. You'll read them once. That's it. That's where you are. ChatGPT has read all the books, and you will ask it a question about the Roman Empire, and it will explain it to you in depth after it's read all the books and given you the precise data.
So the analogy is ChatGPT is that well-established and experienced professor of history that has all the information.
Intelligence. It's intelligence. And yeah, do you know what? The intelligence is sometimes people say, oh, it's not exactly accurate. Do you know what? It is so bloody good that, yeah, you have to have the understanding that it is still a language model. But the fact is, this language model is bringing back answers, which is like having a professor in the room. Seriously.
So if you now take a look at the SEO world versus the ChatGPT world, okay? And you've tried to think about it. There's so many websites in the world, right? There's millions of websites, but they're all the same. They have a header, they have a footer, and they have content in the middle. And they're all the same. Do Google really need to index all these websites that pretty much look the same and it just passes a bot from them and just has text in it, right?
It's the balance between content, static websites, and artificial intelligence, which makes sense of content and presents it to you in an intelligent way. Because if you gave a language model like ChatGPT no content, it'd be stupid, right? So it needs the content in order to be intelligent. Without creating content, it can't give you the answer. But on the other hand, when I ask a question, I'm more interested in what the AI has to say than what a specific website has to say. Because your specific website is very specific to your opinions. There's another 1,000 websites which have different opinions, and I want some kind of intelligence which kind of puts them together. To me, content today is less about the content, it's about the fact-checking. Mm-hmm. The information for me is coming from the artificial intelligence, and then in order to check that the artificial intelligence is right, I'll go and fact check on the website.
You're talking here about a big specific psychological need that is rising in the last few years, which is validation. So why is blockchain such a big thing, Web3 such a big thing? Because we want to validate. We don't trust the bank to say this money transferred from here to here, but we trust the blockchain, right?
Yeah.
Because it's validated. And the same thing as AI, right? In that sense. So you have a website. Let's say that there's a website that is, a touchy subject that is covering the war in Israel with the Palestinians, right? We'll touch a political thing. And then, we see it from another view. A reporter sees it from another view. You read 10 different websites, 10 different them will say the same stories with different facts on it. You want to validate it, right? In that sense. And that is a hard thing online. Has it always been a hard thing online? So also, if you ask ChatGPT a question about these facts, it will be able probably to give you a wider range of facts because it has gone through all of these 10 websites and distilled the actual facts as much as possible. So I might trust that website more, or ChatGPT, more than I trust BBC or CNN or so on. And it might be getting to that level, maybe it's already in that level, where fact-checking and validation for ChatGPT will become so strong, the authority will shift from the search engine, as you said, the gatekeeper. Today, the gatekeeper, Google will not allow false information in its engine, because if false information will be on the engine, advertisers will not come, users will not come.
Well, there's false information everywhere. I mean, what do you mean? You can put false information and Google will index it. They don't fact check you.
They might index it, right? They won't fact check it, but you won't rank high.
I don't know.
Because Google is also based a lot about authority, and authority comes from reality.
So they're not fact checking it. The way they overcome that is by having other people reference your information. So if many people are pointing to you in their mathematical algorithm, that means that it's correct.
So why do you trust ChatGPT with the answers it gives you? How do you come? And that's a question I'm asking you seriously. Mm-hmm. You're going to ask now a question. You come from the development world, from the software world. You're going to ask ChatGPT, write me a code, or, solve me a mathematical equation, or give me some facts. Give me the, last 5 presidents of the US. And it gives you. What is the gatekeeper here? Or how do you trust it? Why do you trust it?
The answer is that I don't trust it. I don't need to trust it. It doesn't have rules. The beautiful thing about AI, ChatGPT, a language model, is that even the people who have created it do not know what it's going to answer. Nobody knows what it's going to answer when you ask it a question. And most likely every time you ask a question, it's going to give you a different type of answer or write it a bit differently. Because it is not searching and presenting you with other people's content. It is a language model. Every word it writes is some kind of code that's going through information that it has and anticipating the next word. It doesn't hold information of other people and present you other people's information. So it's unpredictable. That's why there's such a huge debate right now about its power and fear of what this thing can do, because nobody has really anticipated how clever it seems to be. Even when you're listening to Sam Altman, who's the CEO, he they don't know what to anticipate. You're listening to Elon Musk. He's frightened of where it's going. The fact that code and the language model can have so much insight and then also take action and then also write code and potentially rewrite its own code are things people are thinking about. We've imagined these things, but here we are. We're sitting in a place where I'm stopping to use Google search. I'm using ChatGPT in order to get my information, and I don't believe it. I don't trust it, but I'm looking at it. I'm saying I'm asking it questions that I know the answers to, and I'm saying this thing is writing answers better than I could give.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than I can give, and it doesn't have information. It's just the code that's generating the word, which in a way devalues human intelligence to many degrees. You're asking yourself, if a code can describe things in an intelligent way better than I could do it, or even 99% of the people can do it, then the value of our intelligence goes down in many ways. The same way searches are going down in value. If you think about it, if I'm less searching on Google, then Google search is less relevant. That's how it works. The rankings are down. If your ratings as a morning show are going from 60% to 30%, you'll get cancelled because people aren't using you.
The rating
because
is down. Yeah.
it's all about marketing. Marketing makes the world go round. The world is about survival. And people, in order to survive, need to exchange goods. That means you create a product, you create a service, and you sell it. The only way to sell products is to put it in front of other people. That is marketing. Presenting your service or product to other people. That could be in a way that is paid, it could be in a way that is not paid. But the whole world goes around. Wars are made, decisions are made, everything works because of marketing. Without it, human society cannot survive. You have an iPhone, it is a portal of marketing. Every content you read is either in order to sell you something or to bring you somewhere else that will sell you something, because that pays for things to work. The shift in balance of what is most relevant to bring people in order to see content is changing. If I'm using Google less, then it's less relevant. Then the question is, what is relevant?
So you're saying, in your view, ChatGPT is a superior marketing tool than Google?
In order to understand and to have the foresight of where marketing is going to, we need to understand what marketing is. Marketing is the art of putting your brand or service in front of relevant people. That's what marketing is. If we're saying that Google is less of a real estate that you're going to put it in front of, the question is, what is? Maybe if AI is the place that you're going to do it, the question is, how is that going to look like? We know the model of Google because we've been there for the last 20, 30 years, right? It's somebody searching, and therefore, when he searches, this search engine produces results. But now, we're in a world where I'm telling you, I'm not searching Google, I am asking questions of an AI, and AI is not giving me a website. There's no search engine optimization here. It's the AI writing it in real bloody time. So how could that real estate be utilized in order to market? How would you deliver this product called AI prompting to advertisers? How would advertisers be able to target their audience? Because this is content which is being written in real time. I'm telling you, content value is going down. Up until now, you've had everybody writes a blog about this, a blog about that, about 1,000 people are writing a blog about the same thing. Each one of them is trying to rank, blah, blah, blah. Today, you ask how to groom my dog. You ask ChatGPT how to groom my dog, and it's going to give you a very good answer. Why would I now go through 1,000 different blogs telling me how to groom my dog? If that is the case, then less people are going to write that kind of content.
It's interesting what you're saying because it's a matter of eyeballs, right? When you write a blog post, you are imagining, I'm going to get some eyeballs on it.
Right.
In the world of ChatGPT, nobody going to look at your content. There will be 0 eyeballs. But already...
No, there's eyeballs, but not on content you're writing.
Not on what you created. Nobody cares about what you created.
ChatGPT is artificial intelligence.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that the real estate of eyeballs is in ChatGPT. Not your product, not your blog post, not your social media.
It doesn't belong to anybody.
Exactly. Exactly. Which makes it...
So how do you make money out of it?
And that's the interesting question. So if I'm a brand and I want to get some visuals, I want to get into that place, how do I get ChatGPT to mention my name?
Who is the gatekeeper? Is there a gatekeeper? Maybe. So for example, I'll give you an example. Right now, there is a gatekeeper called OpenAI. They had ChatGPT as open source, and they closed it because they understood we're gatekeepers. Gatekeepers make the most money. So you got ChatGPT, and there's one single gatekeeper. And ChatGPT is returning you answers all the time. Within a month, they had 100 million users. There's never been anything like that. And it's going to grow exponentially. Everybody needs to use it the same way they use the browser. There is nobody in the world that doesn't use a browser. So you're entering a prompt in ChatGPT. OpenAI have no idea what's going to be written. It's not content that's been written before. The AI is writing it as it goes along. But they can index the answer that is being presented to you and is being written by the AI. They could create a product, an advertising product, which your keywords are not on the prompt, but within the context of what the chatbot is writing to you right now, for example. So if you write the tastiest boiled eggs, if ChatGPT is writing to you an answer and within that is the tastiest hard-boiled eggs, then your ad will come up on the right. You'll bid on that context. Now, that is a certain idea of how new type of advertising can happen. One thing for sure, if this is bigger than searching on a search engine, then advertising is going to happen here. The only question is, what is the format? And if we can imagine what the format is, well...
So imagine a cool format. I will call it prompt suggestions, right? The moment that you start writing your prompt and in that level, AI will suggest to you prompts. And in those prompts, it can slot in your product or your brand as a suggested prompt. That will also be a part of auto bidding tool. So if I have a question like, I will start with what is the best coffee beans in that sense? And immediately I will have this prompts show up as auto suggestions on the side. What is the best coffee beans out of this maker or this area or in this price? I will be able to click on that prompt, which will give me more information, but will also do some brand recognition.
So if you gave me that prediction, I would say that that's not going to happen. And I'll tell you why. Because if you look at history, the products that make it are the products that protect people and the world. AI is going to continue to be a prompt that you write and you're getting the information that an AI is giving you, not a computer or advertiser is giving you. That is the core product. The same way in search engines, you're searching for information with a keyword and you're getting organic results. Those are the results that you want to receive. If you're going to get advertising coming into your prompt, you're going to get people not wanting to use that. Do you know why? Because a different AI will open tomorrow and won't do that. And people want to use this as something that changes their life, not something that they put in a prompt and they're getting suggestions on companies which are interjecting inside the thing. It has to be much more subtle.
Because you see the gatekeeper as always needs to be neutral. You know,
Exactly.
like Google, do no evil, right?
Exactly. Has to. All regulation will shut it
And it
down.
loses trust in that sense.
Exactly.
I'm thinking like this. I'm thinking in the world of prompts and AI. So one way that we described will be that you will write a prompt. The AI or the gatekeeper in that sense, it's not the AI, the gatekeeper in that sense will say, how am I going to make money out of it? And it will show you a contextual ad to what you asked, or not to what you asked, to the answer probably, because what you asked, you don't want to put an ad on it. You want to have the best context to what was the answer. So imagine a question like, hey ChatGPT, can you please give me the best TV for 2023 for a living room that is 12 square feet or something like that? And then ChatGPT will give you the answer. And OpenAI, as an advertising company, in that sense, will give you free contextual ad of Samsung, Sony, and LG in that sense. But wait,
Yeah.
now, what's the conversion funnel going to be? Would I, if we're going for this example, would I click on that and go to our website? Because in my view, it might be that websites will also become obsolete with OpenAI becoming smarter and help you to actually also easily buy this. Because if you think about something that happened with Google and a lot of these big companies, Facebook and so on, their whole meaning, their whole what they wanted to do is to keep you in their place. They don't want you to go out.
Right.
Even ChatGPT. Why would they want you to go to a website? They won't. Every one of these platforms ever wanted to keep you in the same, because their user experience.
Google doesn't want to keep you inside.
Even Google, with all the products they made, like Google Shopping and everything, keeps you inside. You can do the whole funnel of shopping inside Google. You don't need to go out because their user experience is superior to Samsung.com.
Yeah, but Google search is designed that when you click something, you're going to it. If that was not the case, they'd be bankrupt.
You know that e-commerce in Google Shopping is 100 times bigger than what's going on the websites.
Listen, you're telling me the word Google Shopping? I don't even know what that means.
Because you live in Europe.
No, exactly. You see, I don't know what that means, and that's enough for this. When you go to search engine on Google and search for something, you click a site, it opens, immediately you go out of it. The biggest revenue for Google is their Google search advertising. It always has been, it always will be, because it is the most targeted advertising that exists, because a person is asking a question, I want toothpaste, and you're delivering an ad to that. If you can't do that, then they can't charge $20 a click.
Because the person is showing intent.
Exactly.
When I ask a question in ChatGPT, I show my intent, right? But the answer I'm getting is much more than just answering my intent. It's answering my intent in an intelligent way. It is actually giving me more than what I thought about, right? That opens up advertising in a different way.
First of all, when you prompt ChatGPT, within your prompt, there's intent already. And that can trigger advertising, not suggestions. It can trigger advertising the same way Google does. But more important, the answer has a certain amount of context in it, like a website would, where you'd have AdSense, for example, which is even more full of your intent because you ask a question and it's giving you a precise answer on your question. And therefore, the context of that answer can be the trigger for an ad. So I can imagine somebody on ChatGPT using ChatGPT as they do today. And on the right-hand side, there are ads coming up dependent on the answers that you are giving it. And you know what? In a way, there's already something like that happening. If you look at Bing and the way Bing are doing it, because Bing are connected between search and ChatGPT. So you're asking a question and it's also referencing sources, websites, giving you suggestions of links to go out to. So I'm just saying that there is going to be, in the not very far future, a new type of advertising as sure as God made little apples. Okay?
Let me get really creative for a second. Imagine that you go to this AI platform. It doesn't have to be OpenAI. It doesn't have to be ChatGPT. But you have this OpenAI platform today where you can put searches, intent, and you ask a question. And what happens in the background is there is a bidding platform going on to choose which AI agent will answer you. It will be an open bidding war between the AI agent of Samsung, the AI agent of LG, and the AI agent of Sony, which the winner gets to answer your question. The advertising is in the actual ability to bid who's gonna answer.
There's now 1 billion companies in the world. You're saying every company is going to create an AI agent.
I'm saying because there will be open source, because it's going to be very simple, it's going to get cheaper in time. Each and every company can take all their information, all their proprietary information, and Gibson has 120 years of it, right? Take it all, okay? Wrap it in the way they want to wrap it with all the information, give it certain qualities to that AI. It can be more of like a Eric Clapton tone, okay? And they would say...
No, but that's not AI. That's not AI of all the information. An AI is information of an index of all the content in the world the same way Google does.
But can it be personalized? Does it have to be the same thing?
But the point of flashing lights in marketing at a certain audience means that you need real estate. Now, if I sell advertising real estate in a little bar in Malta down the road where 3 people go in, that is not valuable real estate. Where's valuable real estate? Real estate is where everybody goes. So Google is one place everybody goes, so the real estate there is the most expensive. If your imagination of the future of advertising is that every solitary company has their own search engine of their own, that is already the opposite of where in order for something to make money, it needs to have all the eyeballs in it. Google has all the eyeballs.
So my brain is thinking like a router, okay? Like a central router. Like think about it when you were young and you are calling 144 in Israel to get a phone number, right? Or you're calling this service provider to get some service, right? I'm going to OpenAI. That's the biggest eyeballs, right? I'm asking a question. I have a question. And the OpenAI, instead of just giving the answer, right, chooses an agent that is the most qualified to answer my question. That answer that's the Gibson agent.
But that's not fair. What you're describing is Google. You're describing the Google search engine ranking websites. That's what you've done. Instead of saying a website, you're saying this is an agent with its own information. But you've just reverted back to Google.
I would not say its own information. I would say It has all the OpenAI, all the ChatGPT, all the information in there, but now it is curated by Gibson.
That's like saying that when Google search engine was invented, that anybody can have a Google search engine. You could just create the code that will do index for everything. So so in my crazy mind, everybody can have Google, and therefore Google, who's the biggest, is going to be the Google of all Googles.
Can I do something like this?
And there is something in that.
And I'm not going far-fetched, but I would say like this. Because we're thinking about imaginary models of advertising. Can I go to ChatGPT or OpenAI and I would say something like this? I would say, hey ChatGPT, please give me the best guitar I can buy up to 1,000 euros. ChatGPT will write the answer properly, everything's fine. And you will have the ability to, in brackets, small one, say, this answer is sponsored by Gibson.
Why would you want an answer sponsored by Gibson? No, I'm asking a serious question because you're telling me that the place that you trust, because if you don't trust, it's not going to work, right? Do we agree on that? Mm-hmm. You're saying the place that I'm supposed to trust, the answers it's giving me are by somebody who's trying to sell me something?
It's sponsored by Gibson.
Nah.
It's commercial. How does an NBA team sell advertising space?
You can't do this. If I gave you information, I wanted to say, give me information about the war in Ukraine, and the answer came and it said sponsored by Vladimir Putin. What would you say? You'd be like, oh, fuck off.
Even the BBC sells sponsor ads,
Sponsored ads is different than reading content, which you don't always say, oh, this content is true. That's not how it works today. You say, this content has been written by something, but I'm being presented with an algorithm which is showing the most relevant one. How does the relevancy work? Like you go to TripAdvisor, right? Mm-hmm. How do you choose the best restaurant? You don't choose it because it's got the best pictures, right? You choose it because it's got 3,000 reviews and it's got a 4.8 thing, and then you go through the reviews and then you see if it looks like like a bot or actual people have done it. How long ago have they written these things? You get validation from the masses. And when you're going to Google, you have a certain amount of trust. And if you had no trust in Google, this would not work. You've got a certain amount of trust in Google, the gatekeepers of this thing, that their algorithm is looking for websites that other people think is true by backlinking or all kinds of things like that.
We know that social validation is a strong thing. We know when we see a YouTube video has 6 million views, that's huge, right? Or when we go into a Facebook post or Instagram or TikTok and, or we see a product that sells in the thousands, you go into an e-commerce shop, you see 5,000 people bought this. This is a big thing, validation for us as a motivator for action. So how can ChatGPT get social validation? Maybe we will see views on prompts.
When you're searching something on Google, you are trusting Google to give you the highest ranking thing, correct?
Yeah, but that's on the Google.
There's no numbers on Google.
On Google, no. But YouTube is also the biggest or number 2 search engine in the world.
ChatGPT is not going to change YouTube. Content needs to exist in order for ChatGPT to exist. And that's the point, that content, its value is changing. We as a human species always progress. We've invented something called the internet. What happened since we invented the internet? I think there's like some kind of crazy statistic that every day all the information that ever exists doubles or something like that. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's true or what's not true. It's not relevant. It grows really quickly. And all this information, most of it is fucking irrelevant. It's duplicates of duplicates of duplicates, if you think about it. What are we saying as a society, as a species that are progressing? We're saying you don't need to write the content over and over again. There's no value in that anymore, guys. There's an AI that is figuring out how to present this all the time, and therefore stop churning it again and again and again. I am saying that the value of personalized content is decreasing. There'll be less content created. Why would somebody create content if it's not bringing advertising dollars?
Nobody's gonna see it.
Nobody's going to see it. It's not bringing advertising dollars. Search engines are not as popular. Why do it? But yet, as we said before, we need content in order for ChatGPT to give us answers. So now there's a different chicken and egg. Somebody needs to create content, but the content that is going to be created is left for the purpose of making advertising dollars, but yet real content where people say, like once, somebody writes a book, they write a novel, they feel passionate about putting this piece of information out into the world. Instead of people duplicating what other people are doing, the AI is going to force relevancy in a different type of way. Because people will not be able to sell their real estate at the same prices they have before, so it won't be a business. And that's bringing me back to the point where in the world of marketing search engine optimization, and let's take, for example, the affiliation world. For affiliates, search engine optimization is the biggest marketing channel in order to make money. Big companies, big affiliate companies, synthesize content on a mass level. They make hundreds of websites generating content which their programs know that Google likes and will rank them in. In fact, they create sets of websites which manage to make each other more relevant by referencing each other. This is huge business today. Mm-hmm. We're talking about companies which are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. The moment content will start receiving its real value and this kind of game will be less relevant, the whole playing field is going to change. Content has less value. Personalization will have more value. Things that are special will have value. Things which are regenerated over and over again, you'll just go to the AI and the AI will assist you. There's no point in going to a ranking search engine for something. And maybe there is. I don't know. There's something here that we don't know yet and haven't figured out.
If I go with that thinking, I'm thinking myself, 100 years ago, if you would want to publish a book, very few people in the world could actually do that, right? Because of the cost of publishing a book. Because the ability to publish a book was so rare that only 2% of the population were in a genius level to actually publish a book. Are we going again to that same levels where only real genius, only real content that is so good? So we're going from this place of havoc, chaos, content like just churning out, to back to
like a brothel,
back to only the really, really, really strong, unique, innovative, hardcore content will prevail.
I think that as a society, as a human species, we always get better at everything. And what we're doing here is optimization. We've created a way to optimize getting back to targeting information.
AI is the world's biggest content filter.
For sure.
And a very good filter.
The question the biggest question that's going to be is what is somebody's incentive of creating content? Because up until now,
Exclusivity. If you have the best piece of content in the world and AI has chosen you as the filter, as that gate to show it, it means you're going to have 100 million eyeballs on you.
but the AI doesn't say that it's you.
It doesn't say, but that's where we need to understand how that context works.
SEO, as we know it, for the purpose of marketing, is going to have a different value.
Because of the devalue of search engines. Less eyeballs on search engines.
Exactly. It's all about real estate, advertising real estate. If that real estate is not as popular because there's a new boy in town, when TikTok comes along and takes eyeballs away from Facebook, Facebook becomes less relevant. That's how the world works. Rome goes up, Rome falls down. And therefore, we all need to start thinking differently about marketing and where the future is in order to anticipate the direction, because those who will anticipate the direction will be able to start building their business in the right way in order to market in the future. And the future is happening before our eyes. We don't need to go too far. It's here, it's happening.
So we agree that real estate market has changed. Advertising or real estate of eyeballs has made a dramatic shift, because 100 million users, that's a dramatic shift, right? Me as a brand, I have a product, I have a service. How can I get ready for this ongoing future right now? Is there something in your mind, or I'm also thinking about myself, is there something I can do today to benefit my brand from this revolution happening? What can I do?
That's a very good question that we all need to try and answer. I think more than anything, we need to start being aware of our value, our true value, and see how that can be projected into the future of AI. Because we can start to imagine, if somebody came to you 6 months ago and told you that you'd be able to ask some kind of chatbot a question and you'd prefer that answer to anybody else giving you the answer, you'd say, piss off, that's not going to happen. We're not there. But now it's like aliens have come from the sky and have put some kind of intelligence on the world, and it's now being accepted and you understand it and you're already using it. And therefore it's a reality. We need to accept reality, accept change, and start imagining ourselves with a different type of future. Whoever doesn't imagine themselves with a different type of future is going to lose out.